I'm here to fan out about Marco really quickly. I just want to talk about Marco and what I foresee happening to this character in One Piece, or in, obviously One Piece, in Wano, right? I was as excited as everyone else with Marco and everything he was doing in this recent chapter. I thought it was spectacular. Now, there are people that are bringing up things about Marco that we just got to talk about. So first we'll address the things people are saying based on this chapter. Then we'll talk about Marco's future based on what's going on right now, because I think Oda is bringing it all full circle. But before we get into that, if you're for the first time, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Maybe you've even watched a few videos and you haven't even realized that you're not even subscribed. So take the time out to subscribe and drop a like as well, because that helps me out a lot. So without further adu, let's talk about our favorite right-hand commander, I think. Okay, so Marco, can you believe that this all started when we went to visit Marco with Inu Neku, went to visit Marco, and we weren't sure if Marco was going to come. Now, personally, I always said that Marco is definitely coming to Wano. There's no way he passes up this opportunity. But we went to Marco, and Marco said, you know what? No, I have to protect this island. Then Marco shows up to Wano, and then Marco kicks Big Mom's ship off of the waterfall, just like King did initially, right? So then it's like, okay, Marco's getting some hype. Marco's here. Then a few more things happened. Then Marco ended up getting Zoro to the rooftop. Now he's fighting King and Queen, and he's been holding them off seemingly for a while. Now this chapter received a lot of hype because right now he, right-hand commander, he's currently holding off two individuals worth over 1 billion berry. Now something I want to point out really quickly is that we don't know Marco's bounty, neither King's, but Marco all but confirmed that King's bounty was over 1 billion, as we expected. I mean, Jax is 1 billion, Queen is over 1 billion. So of course, for King, it would make sense if he's over 1 billion as well. I think Oda is bringing this all full circle, and Marco and King are somewhat intertwined. Now for Marco, we can't forget Shanks came to Whitebeard's ship and he asked Marco, hey, do you want to join my crew? And Marco said, what? No, what? And for King, Big Mom came to Onigashima, and then she said, King, do you want to join my crew? And of course, it wasn't just about strength. It was because basically he was, the last of his kind, and that's still a plot point that's to be explored. But I think Oda is setting all of this up by having Marco encounter King. Now, before any of this happened, I had said that based on their abilities and just the fact of, their positions that we presume, they were going to meet at some point, and meet they did. I didn't foresee Queen being a part of it. I think he falls out of it, right, for sure, and then it becomes about King and Marco. However, there are some caveats and some ways Oda could go about this, but we'll get to that. First, I want to talk about the perception of Marco really quickly. I'm not going to harp on that because I made videos about this before, about Marco being underrated and overpowered, right, based on everything we saw from him in Marineford. Now, I'm not going to jump the gun and overrate him now. However, what he's showing currently is something we should appreciate and understand, that he is looking like the most impressive right hand so far. And you guys know how much I adore Katakuri, right? I love Katakuri. But right now, Marco is handling two commanders over 1 billion berry, but he is struggling. Now, be clear, I do think Marco will lose here, but this man was tussling with admirals in Marineford, and I don't have to bring up the previous or the past perception of Marco, how people used to view him, because that's well documented, that people didn't think it was that impressive in Marineford. People had other commanders as performing better, like Jozu and Vista, saying Vista clashed with Mihawk, and Jozu at least, made Aokiji bleed, things like that. Didn't give Marco the credit for clashing with Kizaru, overpowering him, kicking Aokiji, basically getting to the ship when Squad did his thing. Like, Marco was everywhere on the battlefield, but people downed him because of the thing with him and Akainu. With Vista and Marco attacked Akainu, Akainu was like, ah, damn, hockey users, just brushed it off. So I'm really happy he's finally getting his credit. I'm loving that. But that situation with Marco and King and Queen is going to end poorly for Marco, in my opinion. So what I would like to happen is Queen get distracted by someone else, and it becomes a 1v1 with Marco and King. Now, in this situation, because again of story progression and importance, I would presume King wins. But there is also another factor, or perhaps another individual. Do we remember when Marco initially came to Wano, right? Like after the Big Mom ship thing, and he was traveling, had a conversation and all that. He went back, right? Because he was on the ship with Izo. He went back and he said there was a shadow in the water. Do we remember who that shadow was? It was Perospero. Now, Perospero is back after decimating Wanda and Carrot. He is back in the situation and he's noticed Marco and where he is. And Perospero is saying, oh, Marco, he looks pretty beaten up. So what does this tell us? I think with Perospero entering the fold, and how Oda makes it all come full circle is basically we're gonna see Marco's and King's bounty, I think, at the same time, like a cool panel with Marco and King and both of their bounties. But I do think Perospero does something to Marco, almost like, you know, Flampe and Luffy versus Katakuri, and that will give King the edge to finish Marco once and for all, which it basically knocks him out of the fight. He doesn't die, I don't think, but it knocks him out of the fight. Something that people bring up as well is the fact that Big Mom asked Perospero to take out Marco, and me and the guys were talking after the chapter. The conclusion was, okay, so for Marco, shout out to my guy Theory, it would really take a while to wait for this healing, this regen factor to run out. So the best way would be to restrict him, like they did in Marineford, where they put the handcuffs on him. In this situation, they have someone like Perospero who can encase you in candy. Now for Marco, he should be able to break out of it, but based on what we saw, not many people can break out of this candy. And for Marco, we don't think his flames actually burn. So if Perospero caught him in some candy, he would be a sitting bird for King to come and take out. So I think that's how Oda ties in Perospero after the initial meeting between him and Marco, because of course Perospero, he's not happy with the alliance at all. So he doesn't want to really work with King. However, he understands what Marco is. There were a lot of comments of people saying, well, Marco probably is the tragedy, because how much the chapter was building him up. It's typical Oda fashion to build up a character, then have something, you know, pretty serious happen to them. And then there were several instances in which Oda pointed out to show that Marco is a bit beaten up, and even had a character just flat out say it. I don't want to understate Marco's abilities, because I thought that attack was really cool that he did, and I just wish we would have seen some of this in Marineford. Now, I'm not saying that he looks stronger here. We are seeing more attacks, because to me, it's the same Marco. It's just that back then, he was going against the Admirals, right? Multiple Admirals and multiple Marines. So it's a different situation. That's why a lot of people would rate Marco higher than the other commanders, because no other commander, from what we know, you know, exclude Ben Beckman and maybe Shiryu. Well, actually, no other commander, from what we know, has tussled with admirals the way Marco has. Until we see those characters in that situation, Marco will receive the benefit of the doubt, for me at least, right? So ultimately, to end this, I do think Marco survives, right? I don't think Oda kills him. Of course, in the future, I don't see any necessary plot points for him to go on. I am holding out hope that Vista shows up. Vista, the flower swordsman, the man that uses the flower blade. We see Ryo, and the animation for that seems to be flower petals. There's a theory floating around that basically Vista's fighting style was taught to him by Odin, right? With Odin and his Ryo, but Vista made it his own style with his Rose Rondo and things like that. And I think it'd be a missed opportunity, honestly, if Vista, a great swordsman like him, does not show up in Wano. I was really confident in my Marco coming to Wano before he did, and I'm fairly confident that Vista shows up at some point. Like, it seems like it's a bit too late, but I would like for Vista to show up, right? That's the fan in me wanting Vista to show up. So, but yeah, guys, enough of my rambling about Marco. What do you think about him? How do you see this playing out for him in particular? Give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate all you guys so much. You made it this far. Drop a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost.